Okay, here we go. Last round of the day, round 4. Woohoo! It's much later in the day, obviously. I don't have any lights on inside here, but anyway, I've had some difficulty with the whole YouTube thing today and with it taking like buku's time to upload, blah, blah, blah. But I still wanted to finish. And going back to where I dropped off the last video, talking about the pi equation, or whatever it is that you want to call it, whatever the real name is. And the gentleman that I had been watching on, actually on Facebook Live, and he had initially come out and been like, you know, we're more than we think we are. We have telepathy. We can bilocate. We can have clairsentience. We're clairvoyant. You know, we have all these gifts, blah, blah, blah. And I truly do believe that. Personally, I believe that we have all of those. I've operated in those as a small child. And my sisters and my memories vary on this some. But I could go into a lot of things. A lot of things. And that I personally did and personally experienced, and how that was deliberately and intentionally, forcefully, quote unquote, trained out of me. In other words, don't do that now, because then I can't control you. So anyway, so he was saying a lot of really good things, and the human needs to be empowered within himself. Don't pay attention to a storyline. Don't pay attention to the good, bad, right, wrong, all that. And I adhere to that. I don't necessarily think, you know, this is bad, don't do this. This is good. You know, so is there, what Amanda said today, is there a gray area? Oh, absolutely. Shades of gray are real to me. And I'm attracted to a lot of different ideas and things, but I think that staying in the gray area is an area that's really conducive for hashing it out for yourself. For me, it is. Most of the clothing I wear is black, white, or gray. I love purple. That's my favorite color. Happens to be my birthstone. And any shades of blue. I like all the colors, really, but I gravitate definitely toward blues and purples. But I don't wear them a lot. What does that mean? What's the deeper meaning of that? Oh my gosh, my chakras are out of alignment. And I am poking fun at that. I literally don't know that much about the chakras. I've heard a lot about the chakras, but I don't have a lot of personal experience with doing a lot of things that people do with their chakras. So maybe that'll come later. Maybe it'll come tonight. So anyway, and talking about that, and what is this realm? You know, how is it set up? I think there's definitely false matrix overlays. I mean, definitely. I think a lot of it's controlled. You know, if sound precedes light, and we see a very tiny portion of the visible light spectrum here, a very small portion of the auditory spectrum. Even our sensory is, I think, extremely limited. Knowing that for myself, I just, you know, think of, is the sacred geometry sacred? You know, is it complete? Is that all there is to know? I don't think there is. And one of the reasons I say this is because I've seen differently in my mind's eye. When I'm going to sleep, sometimes in the middle of the night, when I wake up, typically these times, sometimes it's when I'm wide awake, I see a lot of things that I've never seen before, that I've never heard anybody describe or talk about. And usually it comes after I've asked my subconscious mind a question. I have the other part of me, actually I think there's many parts of me, and I feel like I'm collecting the fractals and making them whole, but the other part of me that knows all, I don't know if I said this in another video, but I named her Maggie Pearl. I asked her what her name was, and I ask a lot of questions sometimes. I'm like, okay, you know, right now cognitively a lot of things haven't filtered down, or I don't have the knowing of, but what is the answer to this? Or what if, you know, how would it be? How would it feel? You know, and then like thinking about, what if, what's a good example? What if I had that new car? And then like putting yourself in it, kind of like The Secret or the, Law of Attraction, which I think that whole entire thing is not complete and some of it's skewed. How would it feel? And embodying that and intentionally embracing that and imagining that and visualizing that, I do think that that can bring things into this reality that that's part of manifestation. I absolutely have experienced it. So I do feel like I know that for me. Could be different for anyone else. But I think we have a lot of an incomplete picture about a lot of things. And I think that a lot of that knowledge that we don't have, things we can't see, touch, don't know about, can't sense, I think that those have a large play in what goes on here, and that there's a lot of manipulation with that, just point blank, a lot of control and manipulation with it. And I'll take, for example, the zodiac. You have your 12 zodiac signs, and then you have all the different zodiac signs for the Chinese one, and you've got this, and you've got that, and you've got all the different calendars, and then you've got all the different memories, and you've got all the different cultural retellings, and you've got all the stories, and you've got, and the written stuff, the tangible and the non-tangible, and you've got all this kind of stuff going on, and I think it's all great. It's all fantastic. But what about the zodiac? We've got the 12 zodiac signs, and are the disciples the 12 zodiac signs, and they weren't real people, and it's all thought forms? I tend to think that. I think it's a lot of allegories. Tell me the story of Jesus. How many times did I sing that? Tell me the story of Jesus. What is it? It's a story. And then what happened when I watched a video one day? There's a 13th sign. And I think it's pronounced Ophiuchus. Oh my. What if that 13th sign screwed up your zodiac? Which I think there's a lot of validity to the zodiac. There could be. And to the 22 archetypes of the tarot, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I've never felt the urge to explore it. I might tomorrow feel that urge. I don't know. Can there be a lot gleaned and learned? Sure. But I don't think that just because I'm an Aquarian, I think it can be useful information, because if we do live in a manipulated realm, that could be, this is when you were born, where you were born, if all of it's significant, the time of your birth, and all that kind of stuff is significant. Could that be part of an overlay or a template that is not beneficial for me, that I don't really want to participate with? Do I have a say? I think I have a say. I think I may not have known I had a say, and I might not have known about any and all of it. I might not ever know about all of it. But I think it's good to say I'm autonomous, I'm sovereign, which the root word of sovereignty has different meanings to me. But anyway, so let's see where I'm at on my notes in the dim light. So I kind of touched on the religion and the blind faith kind of thing, and to me that's silliness. Why have blind faith? I think that with our inner knowing, we can say, this is my urge, this is what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing right now. I don't comprehend it all, I don't know why, but I feel this really strong urge, or I have this really strong knowing, or whatever, and I think I'm supposed to do this. But to say it's blind faith or just believe, to me, that's total flippin' hogwash. It's total flippin' hogwash to me. I'm sorry. That's just where I'm at, my experiences. Don't know if I mentioned this earlier or not, but my dad was a pastor and evangelist turned Pentecostal holiness. So if I poke fun at Christianity or say anything, I can't tell you how many hours, hundreds of hours sitting on a pew, how many sermons I've listened to, how many camp meetings, kicking it up in the sawdust, that I've experienced, all the perversion. Let's go in the basement of the church and you dress up like a boy and let's do the Eucharist. Do you want to be the acolyte today? Yeah, I've experienced a lot. So if I'm not just some ridiculous, ignorant person that doesn't have any experiences, just poking fun. No, there's a lot to what I'm saying for me. But anyway, I liken the blind faith to, what are you going to trust? Who are you going to trust? You going to trust somebody else besides yourself, or without checking with your inner knowing first? Not I. You take some, in my mind, I'm poking fun again. You take some weird little individual who's like a guru type person or something, and they're going to have a meeting, a gathering. What are all the cool words for that? Going to have a session. And everybody gets together, but you get to get the wafer at the door, the cookie at the door. You get the cookie at the door. And what if the man said, we believe in your power and your energy. And most of these cookies, these wafers, most of them don't have cyanide, but some of them might. Well, by blind faith, I'm going to eat the damn wafers and hope mine doesn't have cyanide. And if it does, it was supposed to be like that. Everything has a reason. It was just supposed to be like that. To me, that doesn't resonate at all. It just doesn't resonate to me. So those are, of course, just all my thoughts. My own silliness. So, and wrapping this up now, I'm looking at my notes. So suggestions, suggestions of let go and not necessarily have an I don't care attitude. And I do know I say that a lot, but like, it doesn't pertain to me. Or right now, I just don't want to give it my energy or my thought. That's a stance that you can take. That sounds interesting, but it's just not for me right now. Might be later. And you can even say subconscious, hold on to that. That might be worth entertaining later. Might be, might not. And I personally, for myself, this came to me strongly one night when I'd been drinking in a horrible relationship, and I had this whole knowing that came up from me. I don't ever say I channel anything. I don't prefer that verbiage. I don't like those images for myself, that I channel something from somebody specific. I don't really like that. I think that I can get information from the grid or from myself or from the earth, water, but I don't like the whole thing. I channeled with this person or this musician, for me, that's just not my way. It's not my way, period. But anyway, I spoke into the notes of my phone. I look back now, I'm like, that is so profound. I mean, it was incredibly profound. But one of the shorter ones was no attachments, no expectations. And I have really tried to create that in my mind, in my ways of being, incorporate that anything that I have tangible, no attachments, no expectations. I'm not going to let things dictate me. I choose to dictate myself. Of course, I still do work a job. I trade time for and energy for dollars right now. And the work that's available that I've chosen to participate with, there are, I have to show up at a certain time. Yes. But I don't have to let that define me. I don't have to say, well, this is just how it is. I have a say about a lot of it. And I can hold in my mind's eye that that's not how it's going to be for very much longer at all. Yay! I could cut a light on. So let's do that. And I would just encourage everybody to come up with your own, way of resonating, your own way of thinking about things. Instead of saying, this is what I know. I can know it for myself, sure. But I would like to say, this is what I have to offer. Think about it, don't think about it. I'm not going to get offended. It doesn't offend me at all. If you don't watch this video, or you watch 38 seconds of it and you think it's stupid, it's fine, just don't watch it. I've watched some things before. At first, I was so freaking turned off, or I thought it was just so stupid. Then later, I went back to it. Or 15 minutes into it, or, 9 minutes into it, I was like, wow, this is making a lot of sense. I think this person's crazy as shit. Of course, I resonated with that. But they've got some things in here that are really making me think. Yeah, there's some cognitive dissonance going on here, buddy. So, just another quick analogy, but it's like, someone could say, referencing your little box house if you're decorating, someone could have specific items in there that are matching, and I bring in something and I say, I think this matches. It's a different shade, but it's, kind of harmonious, might fit your feng shui. And that man might say, that totally doesn't match at all. It looks horrid. Just, I don't like it at all. Well, what do you mean it doesn't match? It's another shade, or it's a complementary shade, or whatever. And that man might be colorblind. It could be that every shade of green looks like a camo green to him, or a brown. And I've brought in different hues of blue and other colors and or yellows that would be complementary, and to him he doesn't see it that way. So am I going to get upset or mad at him or offended? No. Just find somebody else that wants the item. You know, to me, it's just like things, you know, there's a lot of complexity, a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. But I think for a lot of it, it's just a lot simpler than what we think. I think it can become a lot simpler if we're willing to not do the work, but if we're willing to just spend time with ourselves, get the information from ourselves, upload it, enjoy it, open it up, however you want to say it, download it. If you want to download information and that's how you see it, that's fine. I don't prefer to see it that way. You know, whatever. But just taking time to be peaceful, relaxed, appreciate your body technology, be connected to it, love it, stimulate it, touch it, exercise it, flow it, do unpredictable things with it, really treasure it. I just encourage everybody, treasure your physicality. It's crucial. It's pivotal. It's, what are some other words? I can't even think of the words right now. It's to me, it's super important to maintain the memories and the integrity of your body, and to be connecting with those, actively connecting with those. To me, that's really important. Might not be for you. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for listening to all my silliness. Thanks for putting up with 4 different videos. And I just appreciate it. And if this meant something to you, very good. If it didn't, that's fine too. And I really don't know what else to say, but seriously, truly, when I say this, stay wild. You know, don't be a domesticated dog. Be more like a wolf. To me, that's just like, you know, I don't want to be domesticated. I don't like being domesticated. And I don't like being confined to my box and my creature comforts. Everything's not the way I want it to be. You know, so I just think learning to be adaptable, learning to be malleable, learning to be flexible, or remembering how, I think can be really good tools. They can be arrows in your quiver. So anyway, everybody have an incredible rest of your time, day, night, whenever you're watching this. Thank you. Love to all. Bye.